Hey everyone, this is Ed Franco. Some of you guys know me from my cooking page on Instagram, When Daddy Cooks. It's where I highlight cooking techniques and stories from fathers and husbands who love to cook and prepare meals for their families, whether on the grill or in the kitchen. And some of you know me from my actual business, Franco Tax Solutions, where I offer bookkeeping and tax prep services to individuals, entrepreneurs, and small businesses. Pretty much, if you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur, I help you save money on taxes. For more information, just look me up online. But what we're here for is actually a product review, my first one, specifically for the Boston Scally Company. So, as a New York City native, born and raised, you will always find me with a Yankee fitted. But this is one of those things where it's as weight gain happens and the head swells and grows, sometimes the fitted hats are not very easy to find, right? I currently wear a 7 3/4 in a New Era 5950 fitted. This one happens to be a low crown, which is, I feel like, the best fit for me. But these hat sizes can vary. So a 7 3/4 sometimes doesn't fit me the same way, depending on the style or the fabric, whatever the case may be. The same thing goes with other types of hats, like flat caps. So here I have, this is not a Boston Scally. This is actually a much older cap. It's over 10 years old. It's a Donegal tweed, 100% wool flat cap that was purchased in Dublin. I've had this for, like I said, over 10 years. It's one of my favorite caps to wear. But I've kind of outgrown this hat. It's a little snug on me. It's an extra large, and it doesn't come in any bigger sizes. And I'm not taking a trip to Ireland again just for a hat. So, fortunately, through Instagram and Facebook marketing, I found the Boston Scally Company. And these guys make, I think most of their hats are like a wool poly blend. And then they have like the lighter fabrics for summertime and warm weather use. But I was able to find a few hats that I really liked. And full disclosure, I have purchased all of these hats that I'm going to review. Either I purchased them or they were purchased for me as gifts. So this is not a paid advertisement. None of these things were free. And this is an unbiased opinion. So the first hat that I purchased was the Legacy in Coolidge black with the gray herringbone accent in the front. Now, I noticed that a lot of their hats have like an accompanying pin, which I haven't gotten any of their pins because I have my own pin collection. I am pretty much a Star Wars geek, so most of my hats you'll see some kind of Star Wars pin. I happen to have the Death Star on this one. So this is the Legacy in Coolidge black. It's an extra large. I'm sorry, it's a double extra large. Double X is the equivalent to about a 7 3/4 on their website. This is one of the most comfortable hats that I have ever purchased. And it's probably the second most comfortable hat out of all the Boston Scally hats that I have. I say second because I'm not going to review this hat yet, not in this video. But I have a hat which is even more comfortable than this one, which was gifted to me by my wife. Thank you, baby. I'll do a separate video for that one because it actually falls in a different category. I'm just going to focus on the flat caps today, the single panel. What they refer to as single panel, which, as you can see, it's literally one panel that goes from the back to the front. And then you have the adjoining panels here, all the way to the bills, to the bill, etc. You see the Boston Scally logo imprinted on the inside. A lot of people online complain about the fact that these hats are made in China. But I can tell you this, the quality and the build are amazing. The fit and finish, couldn't ask for anything more. I have, like I said, I have a hat, actually 100% wool hat made in Ireland, and it's not as comfortable as these hats are. Now, I've had these hats now since I made my first purchase Black Friday. That's over a month now. We're in January as I'm reviewing these. So I've had a good month to wear these hats out, and I've gotten compliments on them. They're super comfortable. Each one of these hats that I'm reviewing today, I have outerwear, jackets, sweaters, hoodies that complement the look. And it's really, it's I don't want to say it's boosted my confidence, because it's not a thing about like, oh, I lacked confidence before, but it's really given my confidence that like step up, to know that it's not just putting on a baseball cap or a Scully, it's a Scally cap. And I'll put on a wool jacket or like a field jacket or something to go out on the weekends, run errands, go out at night with my wife, go to work every day. And these hats just complement the look beautifully. It feels complete. It feels like I've completed the look when I leave my house, have my coat on, scarf if needed, and then throw on my Scally cap. It's been really cool. So this is the Legacy in Coolidge Black, as I mentioned, with the gray herringbone accent. The contrast is what I love the most. I could have gone with just a solid one color, but I like contrast, I like patterns. I think this is really cool. And at the same time, it's still a simple hat. It's a black hat, and it pretty much goes with everything. The next hat I'm going to review is the Whiskey. And this came in Cherry Oak Plaid. Again, Boston Scally logo inside. This is a XX as well. Now, what I noticed was, even though this is also a single panel, this one was cut with a little less fabric than the Legacy. So it doesn't fit as roomy as the Legacy does, but it's still comfortable on my head. And as you can see, the Star Wars theme continues. I have an X-Wing on this one. This one comes in pretty much two shades of gray. You have the solid gray panel on the side. You have this light gray herringbone with that like burgundy and red plaid pattern, the Cherry Oak pattern. It's really cool. I love the look of this. I have a gray overcoat that leans more towards this shade of gray, the solid gray. So I like wearing it with it, but I also like to contrast it with other things. Like I have a navy blue pea coat, and I have a black, just not wool. It's, forget what fabric it is, but I have like a black jacket for the fall that I wear often. And this is just a good contrast against it. You don't have to wear the same color up and down. You don't have to wear the same pattern. It's always nice to be able to mix and match things. And this is one of those hats where, so to me, it's a throwback to watching like the old timers in my old neighborhood in the Bronx, either playing dominoes or playing cards or just hanging out at a coffee shop and stuff. This reminds me of that. My kids like to have jokes on me. Here in New York, we mostly call it a driver's cap. So every time they see me wearing one of these, they tell me, "Dad, where are you taking us? You got your driver's cap on." They act like I'm their personal Uber, which pretty much that's what I've become. So again, this is the Whiskey in Cherry Oak Plaid from Boston Scally. The next and last hat that I'm going to review is one that's very dear to me. This was purchased by my wife as a Christmas gift, and I absolutely love it. And not just because of the color and the style, but because of the nostalgic significance of it. This is the Aficionado in Stogey and Ash. This one comes with a custom label inside, XXL as well. It has this like faux leather brim. I say faux leather because you can tell it's not real leather, but it looks really good. And to go with the whole aficionado theme, you know, you see the old timer here with a glass of wine, some barrels behind him, a cigar in his hand. This looks very much like tobacco wrap for a cigar. I say this because, and I say this has a lot of significance for me because my grandfather and my uncles were the ones that really installed this love of hats and headwear for me when I was young. This is actually a very comfortable hat. I absolutely love wearing this hat. I've probably worn this one a little more often than the other two, only because it's such a neutral hat. This Stogey and Ash color is like a khaki beige color with the brown, and it just kind of complements everything. It complements my black jackets, my gray, my navy blue jackets. I've worn this with just a sweater. Dress it down, dress it up. It's just, this hat reminds me of my grandfather, who, so my family's originally from the Dominican Republic. That's why this one, I didn't pick a Star Wars pin. I picked my American and Dominican flag lapel pin for this hat because this hat is reminiscent of my ethnicity and also my nationality. So it's very, very near and dear to me. This hat reminds me very much of my grandfather, who, when I was a kid and he lived in the Dominican Republic, he actually worked for one of the cigar manufacturers out there as a sales rep. And he always wore hats like these, especially when he came back to the States to visit in fall, winter time. Never saw him without a flat cap. And his sons, my uncles, the same thing. My uncles always, to this day, still wear this style of hat. And when I saw this on the website, I wanted to get it for myself, but I had already ordered a couple of other hats. And my wife knew how much I love this style of hat, and she saw this one and she got it for me. So thank you, babe. I really love it. This, I don't mean to get sentimental, but this one is like very meaningful to me. The look of it, the feel, it reminds me of those gentlemen in my life that really made an impact for me. So I'm going to focus on these three for now because they all fall in line in the same category. These are single panel hats, very comfortable. Again, they're all double XL. The equivalent to that is a 7 3/4, at least for me. And I think Boston Scally Company has a really good thing going here. They've done an amazing job with designing these hats, choosing the colors and the fabrics. I'm looking forward to picking up some of their lightweight fabric hats for the summertime and the spring, because I like to wear hats all year round. I shave my head quite often, probably every other day. So in the wintertime, obviously, I'm here, I'm in New York, we're in the Northeast. It's cold, we got to protect our heads. Then in the summertime as well, have to protect the scalp from sunburn. So I always wear hats. I typically wear baseball caps during the summer, but it's one of those things where if I had a good alternative, I wouldn't even bother wearing a baseball cap. I'd wear something like this. And I found on their website that they do have some lightweight fabrics and stuff suitable for warm weather. So I'm looking forward to making purchases on those. So for now, here's my review of the Legacy, the Whiskey, and the Aficionado. Next video, we'll focus on the 8-panel caps. So stay tuned.